Have you ever actually stopped to wonder how a company that is globally famous for its value menus, super cheap meals, and a constant stream of discounts somehow manages to rake in billions of dollars in pure profit year after year? At first glance, it almost seems impossible. Selling things for just a few bucks doesn't exactly sound like the recipe for generating staggering, world-dominating profits. It's this incredible paradox, and it's sitting right in plain sight on almost every major street corner. Today, in this explainer, we're going to break down the reality of this paradox. We're going to reveal that behind those glowing neon signs is actually one of the smartest, most meticulously crafted business models ever created.
So, that brings us to the core question we're answering today. Where does the money actually come from? We're going on this really fascinating myth versus reality journey to uncover exactly how this corporation became one of the world's most successful companies. We're going to look way past the fryers and the drive-thrus to expose the true hidden engines of this massive empire.
Section 1. The Ray Kroc Revolution. From one burger stand to a global empire.
Okay, let's dive into this historical foundation, because to really understand the empire, we have to trace its rapid evolution. The whole thing started pretty modestly back in 1940 as just a single, small restaurant out in California. But the true turning point, the real game changer, happened a decade later. In the 1950s, a businessman named Ray Kroc saw the immense potential of this small operation and completely transformed it. Instead of trying to save up the capital to open every single new restaurant himself, which, let's be honest, would be incredibly slow and wildly expensive, Kroc made a genius move. He shifted to a franchise business model. He allowed other people to invest their own money to open and operate these locations. This one single decision allowed the company to expand at breakneck speed without having to pay the full astronomical cost of building thousands of restaurants from scratch. And because of that franchising model, the company now operates more than 40,000 restaurants across over 100 countries. They're serving literally millions of customers every single day. This jaw-dropping scale is the direct result of leveraging other people's capital to grow.
Section 2. The Hidden Real Estate Empire. Peeling back the layers of profit. Now, to find the real secret behind those billions, we've got to look past the food. The vast majority of these 40,000 locations are not actually owned by the corporation itself. They're owned by independent business owners called franchisees. So the absolutely crucial point here is that these independent operators are the ones taking on the financial risk. They're the ones putting up the big money to build out the restaurant and manage the daily, exhausting grind of the food service business. And this brilliantly illustrates how the whole thing works. The setup creates a very precise three-step revenue mechanism. Step 1, these owners pay large upfront fees just for the privilege of opening up a restaurant. Step 2, they pay rent for the physical restaurant location itself. And step 3, they continue paying ongoing royalties based on their total sales. Because of this exact structure, the corporation earns massive amounts of money, securely and predictably, even when it isn't the one actually flipping the burgers or managing the staff. Which brings us to the ultimate aha moment of our explainer. Public perception tells us they're in the fast food business, right? Dealing with the daily headaches of cooking fries and managing notoriously low margins. But the reality? They are actually in the real estate business. See, it was a financial genius named Harry Sonborn who originally convinced Ray Kroc to buy the real estate under the restaurants instead of just focusing on selling burgers. Over decades, the company has strategically purchased some of the most incredibly valuable commercial properties all around the globe. They own the land, and then they lease these premium locations back to their franchise owners. In a lot of cases, they make a steady, extremely lucrative income from the rent alone, and that is entirely in addition to those franchise fees we just talked about. This is exactly why many financial experts will frankly tell you this corporation is just as much a massive real estate company as it is a fast food company. Section 3. Mastering Economies of Scale. High volume, low costs. Of course, while real estate might be the hidden financial engine, the actual food operation still has to function perfectly, because if the food business fails, the franchisees can't pay that lucrative rent. To make this entire system work seamlessly, they have to keep menu prices famously low. It all comes down to economies of scale. Because this company is buying enormous, almost incomprehensible quantities of raw ingredients, we're talking mountains of beef, potatoes, buns, cheese, and drinks. In such massive volumes, their suppliers are basically forced to offer them significantly lower prices than anyone else could ever get. Buying on that scale allows them to reduce their costs drastically, all while maintaining consistent quality across the globe. But look, cheap ingredients don't really matter if you can't serve them quickly. The entire menu and kitchen setup is ruthlessly designed for speed and efficiency. Employees are trained to follow incredibly strict, standardized procedures. This means meals can be prepared rapidly and identically, order after order after order. This incredible speed heavily reduces labor costs and allows each restaurant to serve a much higher number of customers per hour. It's a perfectly tuned assembly line. Actually, it's more like a highly choreographed dance when you think about it. And to push that efficiency even further, digital technology has become a huge source of modern growth. They've invested heavily in mobile ordering, those giant self-service kiosks you see everywhere now, third-party delivery partnerships, and app-based loyalty programs. All of these digital touchpoints do one very specific thing. They improve convenience. And that directly encourages customers to order more often and spend more money per visit, all while requiring less human labor at the front counter. And wrapping around all of this incredible operational efficiency is their marketing. The golden arches are quite literally one of the most recognizable symbols in the entire world. Through decades of memorable advertising, endless promotions, highly effective family-friendly branding, and strategic partnerships, they make sure they permanently stay at the top of customers' minds. Even just the psychological impact of seeing those glowing arches towering over a major highway triggers immediate recognition and comfort. You're not just buying a burger, you're buying into a brand you've known for generations. Section 4. Blueprint for lasting success. What entrepreneurs can actually learn from this? So, zooming out from the burgers and the real estate for a second, what can we actually apply to our own ventures from studying this corporate giant? Let's look at the blueprint. There are 4 essential entrepreneurial lessons derived straight from this empire's playbook. First, build a system that can scale, instead of relying only on your own manual effort, just exactly like Ray Kroc did with franchising. Second, create multiple income streams rather than depending on just one product. Remember, they make money on rent, royalties, and upfront fees, not just fries. Third, focus intensely on consistency because customers return when they know exactly what to expect with every single visit. And finally, invest heavily in your brand. A trusted brand is what ultimately creates loyal customers and fuels long-term growth. To summarize, this company didn't become a global giant simply by flipping and selling burgers. It became an undeniable, world-dominating success because it built a genius business model that perfectly combined these 4 powerful pillars: franchising, real estate, highly efficient operations, and powerful branding. That specific combination is the true reality behind the paradox. That is exactly how they make billions while still selling affordable meals. It really makes you look at a simple fast food corner entirely differently, doesn't it? Which leaves us with this final thought for today's explainer. If a simple burger stand is actually a massive commercial real estate empire in disguise, what hidden engines are driving the other brands you interact with every single day? Next time you make a purchase, maybe look just a little bit closer at the business model behind the product.